Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the commentary desk.
Bart, what was that?
That was a video about Al Posh made by Nevercake.
Who's never? I don't know what that is, but that was awesome. Is that a YouTuber?
You never seen those?
Is he a YouTuber?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to subscribe to his channel.
Animated guy. Yeah, they're all over the Smite Game channel.
Dude, that's insane.
Yeah, he's done, I think, maybe like 15 of them now.
Wait, for Argots?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, you are behind the times.
Dude, I
They're
just stream
awesome.
all day.
Yeah, even
Like,
Zatman's seen them.
I've seen them. They're
What
awesome.
do you mean even Zatman? Don't worry about him, man.
Well, Brandon, we have a treat for the viewers out there. This is, a sneak peek into the remake of the Arena map.
Yeah.
That's coming to the game. So, a little bit on it, I guess. It's more of an art visual or art update. There's not a lot of gameplay differences. You're not going to see anything crazy. Main things to look for, there's a sweet new ending. You know, in Conquest, Titans die, and it's like, whoa! Like, the arena has a really cool way that it ends now. There's also some sweet beasties in there. And it's in daytime again.
Yay.
Oh, nice. Yeah, spoiler alert, daytime. Well, yeah, we do have a video ready for you guys, so let's go and toss to that, and then we'll be back to start the coverage for the best of 5 finals between the two NA teams. Take away. Wow.
Dude, that was dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Who knew how cool it could be?
I've always loved like Smite animated videos because it shows how beautiful the character details are.
Look at you. Look at this guy. What a company man. Well, welcome back to the Analyst Desk, ladies and gentlemen, or the commentary desk, as it were.
Yeah.
We are moments away from game number 1 in a best of 5 between the two North American contenders. It is AFK going up against Team SoloMid. And, well, we're going to try to break this one down for you a little bit and give you some insight as what maybe you will be seeing here. And, well, we're going to throw out basically the main stat that's going to be in question here today, which is that AFK has never won a game against this TSM squad.
And that's not a set, not a match. They have never won a single individual game outside of scrims, and even then, I don't know that they have.
Well, there are a few things that AFK has done today, right? They've come in second place at least in LAN, and that is the first time they've ever done that.
Right.
So maybe it's the first time they'll be TSM.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, talking to the players, right, they were really, in Con especially, right, he's been kind of the cornerstone of this team throughout its roster changes. Talking about how good it is just to finally make second place, get out of that third place curse, and they got second place in the league. They're going to get second place in this lane, guaranteed, at the minimum. And now they have to beat, well, they're not their biggest rival, but certainly the biggest challenge. TSM seems to be the best team playing in the world right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're super strong, and what it comes down to is a name that we've said a bajillion times. Gars yesterday was just on another level. And when I went into that, I actually predicted that Fnatic was going to win off of Twig, and Twig, his Bellona was untouchable. By all stretches of the imagination, Captain Twig was unreal, but Gars in Game 5 was on another level.
He went off.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Gars does, right? He's the kind of player that takes over games, similar to Cyclone Spin from the side of AFK, who we'll be seeing here today, who's definitely going to factor in very heavily to whether or not this team is going to find a victory.
For me, though, I mean, Cyclone Spin is the best solo laner to me, but the issue is that Divios plays a style that is a direct counter. It's like, you want to fight me, Cyclone Spin, and I'm a Guardian, so no.
Right. It's also the style that he's looking to play in the mid game doesn't require winning the lane, right? He's perfectly happy to stall out, get the Mystical Mail, and aggress the backline.
Right. In the SPL matches, you saw Divios went for the Guardian picks, right? And Cyclone was trying to play those kind of heavy assassins, heavy carry roles, and just got stalemated all game.
My man played Wukong yesterday.
That was a surprise.
What was that?
I guess they picked it as a counter pick to, what was it, Bellona that he played it against? Or,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. They were probably working on that for a while.
And that is the craziest counter pick because you go, no, he has to auto attack, and she just blocks all of that. But I mean, he doesn't, right? I mean, if she tries to block,
how is that a counter pick? That's the weird. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's take a look at the brackets, guys, as we'll see exactly how they got here. You could tell Fnatic did knock Trig into the 4th place spot, taking 3rd, and now we're gonna see who wins in these finals best of 5. AFK did defeat Trig on the way here. Fnatic went down to Team SoloMid on their way to the finals as well. So it's an all NA finals here, and yeah, you know, as we kind of talked about. They haven't won a game yet, but this is a very different AFK team than we've seen in the past when they were Melee or Moria, when they were Complexity, when they were even Snipe. Seems to be their best roster so far. And Kiki, right?
I think Kiki
all eyes
is a
on Kiki,
monster.
I think.
He went from weakest link to non-replaceable, right?
And what I attribute that to is I think they really found their confidence now, right? They're not, before they were kind of scared of these teams, like, oh, we never beat AFK, like I'm scared. But now they don't care about any team now. They go in full of confidence, ready to pick anything they want.
It seems very much to be, as we heard yesterday, TSM, kind of the ultimate team play style of team. Communications, amazing, team fighting, really their best attribute. And then on the side of AFK, it's a very different style. Much more pickoff oriented, more of a swarming kind of offense. They don't play from behind very well. They're a momentum-based team. Any kind of keys to success, Brandon, that you see?
I mean, they got to protect Cyclone, right? And Cyclone has got to maybe change up the style a little bit. Normally, it's going to be Divios out-rotating him. He's going to have that Athena, you know, global presence, or he'll build teleport and out-rotate him. And Cyclone will have a better build and a stronger carry presence, but he's not going to get to that point unless he just changes something.
Right, and one player to watch for me would be Wukong, right? In his SPL performance,
Weekend's not a hunter.
No, but what I noticed is that he made a couple of ganks and then he stopped farming. Right? And then Gar's just no ganks, but still was 2 or 3 levels higher than him just because he farmed the map.
It feels a little bit like last season where we saw a Raffer from Mortality, right? It was a similar kind of thing, like was really potent through a few minutes, but then would just fall off a cliff around 15 minutes.
12.
Yeah, whatever. It was like the 3rd camp spawn, and then after that, it just didn't seem like he really knew how to keep his farm up. And a little bit of similar situation from Wukong. Granted, he has been playing gods like Thanatos that require just constant aggression, and farming isn't really your strong suit. They've made it work for them, but is it going to be enough against Gars you know is going to be hyper farming?
See, I think Snoopy is incredible, right? I mean, I think Snoopy is, bar none, one of the best players in the world, but Allied to me was the most impressive hunter in the SPL this season, aside from maybe Reels. Reels is not a factor here, so I'm actually expecting that the duo lane is going to go to AFK.
Yeah, I mean, Ionic and Snoopy, they're so good together, and honestly, for me personally, they're the hardest duo lane I've ever faced. They're just so good and precise at what they do.
Yeah, I think Snoopy probably the most underrated player in the league, I would say.
I mean, he's not even underrated. It's just he doesn't get talked about enough.
I know the Europeans, they were not concerned about him as we move into the picks and bans, which to me means that he's underrated because he is an absolute nightmare, as Zapman was mentioning. But here we are, it's the picks and bans. TSM in the first pick position, which so in that Fnatic game, it was just trading first picks for victories, right? I mean, in that set, had it gone 6 games for some reason, right, it likely would have gone back the way of Fnatic. But it is TSM with the first pick position. It's going to be Bakasur and Thanatos off the table, taking away one of Weekend's preferred junglers. So far, AFK's banned Serket, one more pending.
With the Thanatos ban, I'm going to expect that this is going to be Thor as well. They generally love Thanatos because of Thor. No, wow, Serket. Bots. Thor's still on the table. So is Athena, a slew of other Guardians that we know Divios likes to play. This could go either. Oh, Sylvanus. Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, for me, AFK, we scrim them a lot, right? And they are not scared of Thor no matter what. They never ban him. They never pick. Or sometimes they pick. I actually expect them to pick him here just to keep him out of Gar's hands. Yeah,
I would as well. I think that's right on. It's a little curious, right? Bots not really picked or banned very much in this tournament at all. Maybe one ban happening in an earlier round. Unpicked so far, and it's the second you get 2 NA teams in the same game, it's right back to the normal North American meta in terms of picks here. Or at least bans, right? The AFK ban's very standard. TSM, Bakasura +1, pretty standard as well.
Athena, yeah, probably going to get locked in immediately. Bellona still on the table as well. I mean, people love her in the solo lane. I personally think she is the best jungler in the game. I was talking to Wukong before. Wukong loves her as well. But we saw what Cyclone did in the SPL. My man got like a 4-minute quadra, and then the game was over.
I just don't think it matters what Cyclone plays. He's a beast with every guy.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
So we're going to see Athena Bellona locked in on the other side for TSM. It's Sylvanus, Thor, Xbalanque. So a little bit of different picking strategy of the two teams. AFK, a couple of swing picks here, very strong. Athena, most likely in the Guardian role, but could play jungle as well as solo. Bellona kind of in the same vein there. versus TSM that's gotten 3 specialists. They have, their laning team, their laning specialist, their late game specialist, and Xbalanque, and then obviously the Thor, who is one of the best initiators.
Yeah, the Xbalanque pick to me was, I think it's to get it out of Allied's hands, right? All 3 games against Trig, he played Xbalanque. They want him out of his comfort zone.
And I'm pretty sure both games where they won against Cloud9, it was Xbalanque as well. This is Allied's Season 2 go-to character. Where it was once Freya, it is definitely now Xbalanque.
Well, the question for TSM is, where's the ability damage going to come from? Thor's going to bring some, but it's going to fall off, and they need an answer for Bellona in the later stages of the game. See what they go for. Maybe a tier in order here for them in the solo lane, something like that with some control, but that does give them a pretty heavy physical presence.
Sobek's still up.
Yeah, that's right. Sobek also a very nice option as well, especially against the Bellona. Big ability damage, low cooldowns. It's Zhonghui and Poseidon as the final bans. TSM going to remove the big mage that AFK showed in the earlier round, and Poseidon going to be banned as well, not wanting to deal with a heavy rotation out of TSM. Boosh certainly very capable.
I love the Poseidon ban, especially considering that you don't really want to pick Kronos into Bellona. She can stop time with Eagle's Rally. She can stop him from auto-attacking with the disarm. She can shield herself to make sure those in-hands aren't doing damage. She is a direct counter, and Kiki's going to lock in Isis to make sure that she... are we going to see Agni?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we will, Brandon.
That's a counter pick to Isis.
Yeah, and that was a snap pick, definitely from TSM. So what's your call for the jungle here? Magic damage, likely going to put it all in the back of Xbalanque for late game physical. Sobek, likely. Oh, no, it'll be that Sun Wukong. So again, don't be surprised here. This is really more of a magical damage core than it is a physical damage dealer with that mystical male rushed and just getting into the back of those team fights. It's really the magic burn that they're picking.
I'm expecting this last pick to be for Cyclone Spin. Bellona is definitely going to be in the jungle here.
Yeah. I think so too. Weekend's presence is really strong, and given the fact that Thanatos is already gone, I know that they like to fight Thor with Thanatos and
Guan.
Okie-doke.
Guan Yu. So maybe Athena in the solo lane, Guan Yu in the support role potentially.
I could see Athena in the solo. Guan Yu's very good against these Guardians right now.
Yeah.
And that's what Fnatic proved.
Like we saw yesterday, exactly. Same kind of idea. The best bet you have against the Sylvanus is probably to out-aggress him. And Guan Yu is certainly excellent at that. Plus, his heal does hit the wave, so you can gain some wave momentum back to your side with that.
But this is AFK. I mean, that might be Rama solo. Like, who knows?
Right, yeah. You never know what Cyclone's been, but I do think it's Guan Yu. I think it's going to be Guan Yu in the solo, actually, now as I think about it, because I think it's just more towards Cyclone Spin. Athena doesn't seem aggro enough for him, and Guan Yu is going to be able to take the fight to Sun Wukong with the penetration.
Do you think that Cyclone is going to match Divios' build? Are we going to see the Mystical Male Rush? Do you think he's just going to go normal Bluestone?
I can't wait to see, because I think that was the critical failure for Maniac yesterday, was he tried to download that build from Divios, and then he went for it, and Divios played the Death Toll Osiris, and it was clear he just didn't know how to deal with that build from an aggro player, right? Like Divios had kind of mastered it against him. So we'll see. I mean, you can be sure with the Sun Wukong pick that it is going to be Divios. I mean, he's a Chinese dude and he's Chinese food and he's got to eat with that mystical male.
I would have loved to see the Sobek pick there for the solo lane, honestly, because Maniac did that against Divios, and Divios had a lane swap and faced the Hunter instead of facing the Sobek.
That's right.
Yeah, I love that. I love that swap. Making sure the Mystical Male is still being effective, putting them in much better matchups. And I love this dynamic on the screen right now. All 10 players, eyes on the prize. Game 1's going to be starting in just a second here. Remember, guys, this is a best of 5. AFK has never at this point even taken a game, which means if they take the first game, things are going to be very, very scary for TSM.
Well, we'll see how it all shakes out as we get underway, ladies and gentlemen. It's Team SoloMid versus AFK in a best-of-5 finals here at the Spring Split Season 2 LAN. Team SoloMid is going to be the blue team out of the bottom of your minimap on the left side of your spectator UI. It is Divios on the Dark Lord Sun Wukong, Dagars in the jungle as Thor, the Boosh will be your mid lane, twin-headed Agni, and that leaves Ionic and Snoopy as your dual lane, Sylvanus and Xbalanque. Their opponents today, and for the remainder of this best of 5, it is AFK Gaming wearing the red trunks, the top side of your minimap and the right side of your spectator UI. It's Cyclone Spin as the Guan Yu in the solo lane. Weekend will be your jungle Bellona. Kiki so cheeky with that purple pot on a mid lane. Isis looking to be aggressive. Incon and Allied in the duo lane as Athena and Rama.
So a few things to note right away, of course. Boosh picking Agni into the counter pick of Isis, a big deal. Isis going into that purple pot, as you mentioned, and a 4-man grouping on the left side as it looks like Weekend is here. They're looking for real damage early on. And finally, it does look like he's going for the Mystical Male Rush.
Let's listen to AFK's comms as they look for the invade.
Like again.
I'm on Sylvanus.
Nice.
Good job.
Take the buff, take the buff, take the buff.
Okay.
Get right for the buff.
Just kidding, right?
Going for purple.
Make sure to pull it towards the lane. You by yourself. We can run out.
I'm fine. I got the back.
Can I
Let
save
me
my
get that. I
hog
need
if
that
I use
XP.
it?
I need that XP.
Welcome back, guys. And I really like what AFK did here, right? Everyone's so scared of Sylvanus' laning phase, so what they did is they wanted to neutralize that, right? Invade him, put him behind from the start, and let their dual lane actually have the advantage over the Sylvanus.
Yeah, that's a great position they put themselves in on the side of AFK now. And you see, this is what it's going to take for them to win. I mean, they don't seem to be able to take the fair fight with TSM. They need to make it their playing field, and they've done so really, really excellently here now. The early game invade often is enough to spring the game open. We'll see if it's enough for AFK in this contest.
And I just love the way that Wukong played the opening. Not only did they get the purple buff and the kill, but he went to the bottom and used his Hand of the Gods early to take away the back camps. They have stripped everything away from Ionic. Sylvanus still going to have a decent presence here, but Allied and Incon will have the advantage given the fact that Xbalanque doesn't have the push necessary to keep Ram out.
I mean, it's the purple buff taken away from Sylvanus is maybe the most damaging.
Yeah,
I mean,
even more than the first blood. I absolutely agree.
Yeah, without that, you lose a lot of the potency of Sylvanus in his lane control. So AFK firmly in the driver's seat in this left side duo lane for now. And, well, with the Athena, they can play aggressive, not as aggressive as they might with a Guan Yu, but they still can put the pot shots in on the Snoopies you see there. But it is Ionic Snoopy we're talking about after all. If anyone can recover, it's going to be this duo.
Well, Cyclone Spin has taken a hit. Now, remember, he did not get the double buff start. Divio's actually helping with the speed buff on top as well. So there is a small advantage to the tune of only about 0.2 of a level, right? Not a huge deal, only about 20%, but still to that same point, Gars and Weaken, right? Gars about to hit level 5, Weaken rotating a lot, not even close, still is going to need the next wave almost completely.
They're going to bait out the Path of Flames over here on the right side, or I'm sorry, in the mid lane. That means it's not going to be available for Agni. He's going to start losing out on mana. He's going to be a bit less efficient for his casts.
Ionic taking some damage there. I thought that was going to be a victim play right there. Snoopy almost trading him out. Allied not missing many auto attacks, but his mana pool's getting very low. Ionic's going to stay safe for now.
What I really think is going to be very telling in this game is the first mid-Harpy fight, right? Are they going to split it, or are they going to look to be aggressive? And who's going to win that mid-Harpy fight?
Well, Ionic's only level 3. Can he afford to even rotate?
He probably can't rotate, no.
Yeah, that's going to be rough. Weekend is backing right now, though. He only has about 18 seconds to get. He's not even going to make it there. This is a really awkward mid-camp fight. You're right. I mean, this is really strange.
It's probably going to get split, obviously, probably.
Yeah, I mean, right side is getting gestured by TSM. Weekend's not even going to get close. Left side, I mean, Incon's already there. So this should be a clean 1-1.
Yeah, and Cyclone's been frozen in this right side solo lane as Divio's had him pushed up. And, well, to answer our earlier question, it is going to be, looks like the tandem mystical males coming out between the two of them here. So we'll see if Cyclone Spin can play Divios' game better than the Master himself.
Well, Divios does have a small advantage, and I mean, it's pretty small. He's going to have, after this wave, if he gets any of these last hits, he should be looking at about 50 gold, maybe a little bit less. No, actually, he's not going to get any of these. They're dead even in this lane.
Yeah, the biggest difference between the Guan Yu and the Wukong is that the Guan Yu has the sustain. So then Wukong's poke is not really that detrimental to him.
Got a play being set up on the left side here. They're going to try to bait out that Xbalanque dash. He's going to use the ultimate as well. Disarm coming through. He realizes he's in a pretty tough spot here. Over the top comes the hammer, and ultimate going to be used as well, just to seal the deal.
Take it down.
And that's a nice use of that Bellona ultimate to get the second blood of the game in favor of AFK and keep the snowball rolling down the hill.
One thing I would like to point out from that gang was how patient Weekend was with his ultimate, right? He was just waiting, sitting there for the Xbalanque ult. Xbalanque used his ult. He got his 2 off and his ultimate off for the kill secure.
The bludgeon just did so much damage too, and Weekend's rotations have been perfect. But like we've talked about, this is Weekend. He rotates well, he farms well, and then he maybe starts to fall off on the farm in the late game. If he can keep up what he's doing now and maybe even shut down a little bit of what Gars is doing, considering the level advantage, or what was a level advantage, I think he'll have a much better end game than we normally see.
Kiki on the roam, walking past a ward of their own, nothing seen yet. Looks like they want to continue to bully this dual lane. They're looking to snipe the buffs as they come back up. They're realizing that the timing is there, and they're going to have that timer. They're going to take it away right away. You can see Sylvanus and Xbalanque on the left side of your screen thinking about trying to contest, but there's just no way they make it in time, or will they? No, the last in-hand is there from Weekend. It's not going to go to the way of their mage, where perhaps they would have wanted it. They will use the Athena ultimate to come back into the fight, and they're going to dump some ults out of TSM. The Onyx going to get caught out with a double Spirit Ball now, as will Snoopy. The Astral Barrage raining down from the Ram as well, coming out of the duo lane. Spin the win in the front, but it's just Weekend that's fallen so far. I'm not sure TSM can re-engage.
Right there, that's exactly what I like to see from TSM. Gars blatantly jumped into the Athena ult, and they still came out on top. Kiki not getting out of this one, guaranteed to go down. Allied might get a kill over the wall, but the healing should keep him alive for now. Incon trying to keep things safe, but TSM's going to find a 2-kill answer after losing their red buff, but they don't have the health bars for the Gold Fury.
So what happened in that fight was that AFK wanted to keep the pressure on the duo lane, right? They thought they had a big advantage, but what but Bellona was 3/4 HP when she went in.
Sure.
And you saw she got blown up right away in that fight.
Yeah, the Agni has factored in very heavily into these engagements. You saw Boosh really setting up the kill onto Kiki with that re-engage in the lane as well. I mean, he's behind by some gold going into that fight due to the first blood that Kiki got credit for as an assist, but a couple times we saw it on camera, he using the bombs to stun out that ISIS #1. We're going to have a dive underneath the left side tower. Cyclone spin, and this should be a kill as well.
He's yeah. Divio's taking a lot of damage. Weekend is rotating in with that speed buff, getting very, very low. Eagles rally, Roma Invicta. Gonna get a big one there. Gar's trying to do some damage as well, and Boosh is here on the back line. Cyclone's in a lot of trouble and should go down here.
He should, yeah. The last in-hand is going to seal the deal there. Boosh looking for the positioning onto Weekend. Is he going to have another bomb available in time? Does not look like it. Boosh forced to fall back and farm with the wave, but that's okay. It's a rotation. It works out for him. He'll have decent positioning on this right side mid-camp as Sylvanus is there guarding it. Left side will be going to AFK Gaming.
You know what's really big there, Bart, is Cyclone got enough gold for his mystical mail, and Divios didn't.
That is actually huge.
That's insane. Because now, I mean, what do you do as Wukong? Your teleport's on cooldown, right? And we should note that he did build into teleport. His teleport's on cooldown. He doesn't have any lane clear because level 8 Wukong can't clear the wave without using 2 moves to hit all 6. Whereas Guan Yu is already out pushing him. Cyclone's in a good spot.
Yeah, he set him up actually in a great spot. I mean, as you outlined it there, and Mystical Mail complete. I mean, it's been a while since Mystical Mail was the norm in the solo lane, but as I recall, once you finish that item, it seems like a completely different lane. All of a sudden, you seem to have kill potential on this warrior, and Cyclone Spin wouldn't be surprised to see another dive coming out of him shortly.
With that, Divios getting into lane here with the blue buff. Same thing coming out from Cyclone. He's going to walk in and use the heal just to try to keep his cream alive a little while longer. He should be the cheeky one, right?
Yeah, and Divios now forced to go back, buy his Mystical Mail, and port back to the lane. If he can. No, still going to be on cooldown. 35 more seconds, but still, you can see the value of the item, right? He can't even begin to fight Guan Yu without it, forced to go back and lose out an entire wave of experience.
All right, so left side, Weekend making himself known again. Snoopy here, strangely, keeping out Rama and Bellona. You can see him actually moving back here. Allied should get a trip into the jungle where we do see Ionic. It looks like not trying to pull the Gulf Fury, just trying to clear that ward up, but does take some damage because of those AoE auto attacks.
Yep, and he's going to move forward and go for the initiation now as the ward gets countered, and it's TSM caught into an awkward spot. Gar's trying to get his way out of that fight, gets taunted right back into it, but now moves forward for the spin. Boosh going to get the credit for that kill as well, and Gar's goes out as Thor into the sky. Oh, he wants to re-engage.
Yeah, the Eagles rally was already used. I mean, he really should.
Yes.
Oh, Allied's in a lot of trouble. Incom's going to try to get down. He's going to head up into the air. Damage coming out to Boost. 2 out of 3. 3 out of 3. Boosh get pretty low, and Allied will find it. But he's also going to find a shot from Snoopy and it's going to fall 2-for-1 trade.
The problem with these team fights for AFK is that the ISIS is not doing anything compared to the Agni, right? The Agni is just blowing them up, finding 2 to 3 man bombs, and is just doing the damage while ISIS is just getting blown up right away.
Gars is heading back, so they are not going to attempt the Gulf Fury. I think this is a really smart choice. Cyclone was there. He still had cavalry charge available. He could be a really big nuisance. So for them to be patient here, this is a much different dynamic than what we saw from TSM against Fnatic yesterday, where the Gulf fight lasted for like, what, 8 minutes?
Yeah, indeed. And it's seeming more and more like can Team SoloMid deal with this Guan Yu. Guan Yu, fairly resilient, but nothing like a Sun Wukong that's just, you don't want to use CC on him even just because he's so resilient, has that ultimate, has all of the mobility in the world, as well as just a lot of tools to help him get out of sticky situations. So if TSM can find Guan Yu and pick him off in these fights and not let him have the impact that he's looking for, maybe they can start widening the gap even more, because if not, you got to worry a little bit about Cyclone Spin. Boots, Jotun's Rat's going to start hurting.
Right, and like his main job, honestly, in these team fights is to get the Agni out. He wants the Agni to dash out so he's not going to be in range for his bombs.
Ooh, speaking of bombs, Weekend going to take some damage. Eagles Rally going to be used as well. Kiki just walking right by Agni as if he didn't exist.
Yeah, you could have poked him.
That was like the premise of a very sad movie, The Invisible Man right there.
Boosh just blinked forward with the Agni here, feeling himself a little bit. He's going to go for that blink, and here comes the Thor Sun follow-up as well. Ice's ultimate has been expended, but it's not going to be enough to find a kill just yet. However, Gars does go down to Kiki, but finds a return kill as well. The pluck is there again. The body blocks are real. TSM really showing off their mechanical skill here as they're pushing through AFK. Allied takes to the sky. He's going to be able to clean up Ionic. 2
beautiful shots. Third one not going to land. But will he be able to get away? I don't think Ionic has another pull just yet, but Cyclone Spin rotating over. Allied, nice heal from Cyclone. Snoopy's almost out of mana here. He's actually going to turn to Boosh. Will get the stun, land it down, and trade it out. But in the background, here's Divios.
Yeah, Divios did the same thing at the same time, going to the back line and finding the kill into Rama. Probably the more valuable kill over the Agni, to be perfectly honest, at this point in the game.
Yeah, I definitely like that pickup.
I mean, you keep that Rama down. Don't let him get in the late game. You have the Xbalanque. Every moment that Xbalanque is farming and Rama's off the map is a win.
Very important to note is the Xbalanque now has 2 kills, and that extra 10 damage he's going to get from his passive is extremely strong, and we'll allow him to bully that lane now.
All right, so we're actually riding with Snoopy right now. 2 kills, like Zapman just talked about, going to add 10 damage to his auto attacks. We're getting, was that Ninja Tabby?
Are there
as well?
there's cooldown boots on both the hunters? Am I crazy?
Ninja
No,
Tabby,
attack
speed.
Oh, attack speed boots. I'm
Wrong
sorry.
season
Yeah.
bar.
Yeah. Sorry. Whoa. Season 1. Yeah. No, the attack speed boots coming out on both
Bart
of
was
them.
actually just having a panic attack.
I was very concerned, but no, still, even with the attack speed boots over the power boots, right? It's very much to the advantage of Xbalanque. As you mentioned, the extra bonus 10 damage is getting out of it, bridging the gap between the 2 types of boots and getting the attack speed for free.
One thing to note, what Allied is doing, he's foregoing going actives, right? Snoopy has 2 actives at 600 gold. Allied has 600 gold ahead of him in the build, which is why he picked up his short bow.
So the 15% attack speed versus sprint beads, right? Realistically, it could go either way. If Allied gets a great use of ultimate, I mean, they might have a chance to do that beads, right? I mean, get that beads out. If they get a stun or they get some kind of slow and Snoopy's forced to use it and still takes the damage, it'll be a major benefit as Allied continues the fight with that extra burst.
Cyclone's been purchasing teleport and then selling teleport.
My man.
We'll see what he's going to go for here. I mean, he's going to... Looks like it's going to be a Midgarian rush.
Well, I mean, we haven't seen the Sovereignty come out on Incon yet. We know that it's his favorite item, right? But maybe he's going to build Heart Ward, and we're going to see Cyclone Spin go into Sovereignty. That way they can each get 1. This could be, it could be a Midgardian.
I think it's Midgardian. I mean, I don't think he's going to be looking for the aura items specifically, at least not defensive ones.
I can see why he's going Midgardian, right? Bellona wants to be in your face, auto-attacking you all the time, and also Ram has the attack speed steroid late game, and that Midgardian mail shuts them both down.
Yeah, that's right on.
So for me, anytime that Bellona has an opportunity to help the team out, I think it's a good idea. And we're actually, we're going to see another Steel Mail come out. That'll be 3 Steel Mails guaranteed. So one of them has to be the Sov, right? If we have 3 Steel Mails, there's no room for Athena to build it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Bellona may be the one going for the Midgarian as well. Already with the Frostbound could build into the finished Frostbound Hammer, get a lot of attack speed slow. Yeah, get a lot of HP, a lot of attack speed slow, and be really, really potent.
It just seems like these warriors just want to be as annoying as possible and as tanky as possible.
Oh, look at this. Divio's taking a lot of damage. Going to be forced up into the cloud real soon. Cyclone diving right to Boosh. Where's the Path of Flames? Being very patient. Boosh very smart on the call. There it is, but the Roma and Victor going to right to the back line. Cavalry charge. We're going to see a big kill from Cyclone. And look at the control. This one's all AFK right now. Cyclone's going to find a double, but they're not done yet. Cyclone's going to find a triple. Wow. Push him out. Huge win for AFK.
He just keeps on doing it. It doesn't. I don't understand how it keeps on happening, but again, AFK finding that team fight.
They can't do this. They can't go back into this fight. Are they crazy?
Divios fears no man.
I mean, he should. He doesn't have an ultimate. Nice Ox. Like the Ox. What he's done, he's dead. Guaranteed dead.
Wow.
Feeling himself.
Little bit. Now Garce is out of mana. He has no option here. Walking in and auto-attacking is not going to do it enough. That's going to be the first big win of this game. Kevin, let's bring up the charts here. 3,000 gold, 3,000 experience, AFK in the lead.
TSM's thought process there was that they have Thor and Wukong, both very hard to kill, very hard to lock down. So major props to Kiki landing that Spirit Ball and taking him out of his Ox form.
All right, so you two, who had the better patience? Was it Weekend or Boosh? Because Boosh, for that long, not using Path of Flames is incredible. But then Weekend's like, as soon as you do it, I am like ready to go, right? But I mean, it's a mage. I mean, Boosh played that incredibly. I feel like his team didn't back him up.
Yeah, I mean, well, okay, so it's an interesting question, right? Because if you would have asked me, do I think Weekend should be using Eagle's Rally onto the Agni? My answer would probably be no. So, I mean, I guess it's credit to the Boosh for holding it that long. But, I mean, the team fight there was, you know, Boosh got spread out and got picked off by the Rama ultimate in the rush down from Weekend. Guan Yu as well moving his way to the back line. And the rest of TSM surged forward into that corridor, thinking they could just out AoE AFK. But it was Kiki actually with a big silence, stripping away some protections, and a lot of damage coming up from the side of TSM as the Guan Yu came rifling in there, hitting a lot with that Talon Assault, stripping away even more protections. They were just losing armor left and right.
And it's like what we talked about. Why were TSM winning those early game team fights is because the Agni, right? He was landing all those big bomb stuns, those AoE abilities. And what did they do? They had to take him out first. And once they took him out, they won the team fight.
You know, for me, I think Divios getting caught a little bit early and being forced up into the cloud, not having that major escape presence that Divios is kind of relying on, it takes away what makes Sun Wukong good. I mean, he didn't have team fight potential there, and Divios probably should have made the call to back off, whereas Cyclone got into the fight a little bit late, but got a huge heal off, what looked like to be full conviction, right, from his passive as well, which doubles the healing, and then got right up on that horse and just started laying waste. Right now, it seems that Cyclone is outplaying Divios in Divios' own game. This is the Warrior game. This should belong to Big D.
No question. No teleport. Tower's still up. And he's got a second defensive item out while Divios is sitting on a starter as his second pickup. I mean, he's pulling ahead in gold by about 1,200 now and has control of the wave much better. Cyclone Spin just through and through seems to be more competent.
Is insane.
How do you even get that build?
I mean, what are you going to do about Mystical Mail, Mid-Guardian Mail? Like, and then he has an active slot open?
He's got 800 million HP, and he can't be hit by physical base.
Shell? Girdle?
Yeah, Girdle maybe. Yep. But the thing is, it's so important that Cyclone Spin has that extra active slot that he can use for a team. A Heavenly, a Weakening, it doesn't even matter. The fact that he has that over Divios is huge. Yeah.
He probably shouldn't build it.
I don't think it'll be
Achilles Spear?
There we go. Now we're talking. No, but Underworld is a legitimate possibility. Gar's in a lot of trouble here. He's going to get blown up. Ionic with a big ultimate into some Agni bombs, but it was a bit off the mark. The Xbalanque ultimate keeping them in place, but not enough for them to really capitalize off that AoE. And really, Ionic's ultimates, while being spot on in this game in terms of number of targets hit, have not resulted in kills. He's got a couple of big kind of initiation-based teamfight ultimates, but most of the time it's kind of this counter initiation.
So first two, right? First two easy kills go to AFK, and it kind of looked like they were on some other stuff, right? And then immediately it turns around and we're 2-2, and it looked like Gars was really leading the charge there, but all of a sudden, Gars is a level down. You look at the gold difference, it's 1,000 right now. And is that another Mystical Mail?
Yeah, that's a second one from Bellona as well.
Cheapers. So there wasn't a Sov. He still bought the Sov on Incon. So they have 80 damage a second from Magical coming. If they build Magical defense against it, which they probably shouldn't, right, then they're going to be dealing with all this physical damage coming. Either way, this dynamic is perfect, but we can... Oh, goodbye.
Ionic is so
he alive?
Good. It's a
wait, there's a wisp on him.
And there's a Thor on him. Gars.
This is...
Yeah, there you go. There you go. But the fight continuing on here. It looks like Kiki's going to get isolated out by Divios and will end up going down. Cyclone Spin has joined the fray, though, and will be enough to push them back along with Incontinentia. TSM is in 5 on the right side.
One crucial thing that happened in that fight was Isis missed her Spirit Ball on the Sylvanus. Sylvanus was able to catch up, root, and pull the Bellona.
They caught Bellona during her dash. I'm sorry, they caught Allied during his roll there. And Path of Flames, he's going to land in that, and that should be enough.
Oh, no, that was poison. He died
up there. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, that all came down to the fact that he dodged the bomb, but didn't dodge the stun. And then Gars had just like the hottest wall of 2015 right there. Like, that was insanity. It locked him directly in a place, in a corner, and shoved him into this little edge, right, to make sure that he didn't have any room to work there. And then it was just shot after shot after shot. And look at the push, right? They're pressuring tier 2 and mid, making sure they're getting pushed back. Right side, Divios got a tier 1. That's a huge swing. In fact, let's bring up the charts. I think this is normalized.
Yeah, this tower is going to go down. Divios, as you can see, building into that rune-forged hammer. Forced to go into more cost-effective items. Can't really build for those luxury items anymore. Cyclone Spins beat him to the punch. And now, yeah, you're right. It is basically dead even here in terms of gold. About 2,000 separating the teams.
An important thing to note, though, is Snoopy playing a hypercarry 2 levels higher than AFK's hypercarry in Rama.
Yeah, and Xbalanque should, in theory, win that late game regardless, once they're both 6 slotted.
There's a Bellona, and that's what Bellona does.
True. That's right. But in the pure 1v1, Xbalanque has the edge over Raw in the late game.
Oh, yeah.
But as you mentioned, I mean, it's Bellona, but it's Bellona with a Mid-Guardian Mail and 2 Mystical Mails. There's just not a lot of targets with the Sovereignty in addition to that. This can really be effective against. I mean, they're basically just daring the Xbalanque to win this game.
Now, we're going to see a short bow come out from Bellona. I mean, the oboe at this point with that damage probably isn't a great way to go.
No.
Not going to be hitting hard enough.
It'll be a Nick Vol.
I have to assume that it's going to be Iqbal.
Definitely.
But remember, that's not going to double stack, which means if both Iqbal targets are hitting one person, it's not going to take away 60. It's still going to stack at the 30 and stay there.
That's right, yeah, but she will still get the bonus power nonetheless for getting the hits.
True.
Gold Fury started up by TSM, AFK. They're looking around.
Eyes on Incon in the back, looking for a way to get in there. Ionic very cautious of it. You see him separating from Snoopy.
Oh, they've caught out Gars here now, have AFK. They're going to try to burst down the Thor, but it's another ultimate from Ionic fighting a few out. Incon fairly low as Weekend makes his way to the back of the fight. Rom to the sky, starting to pump the damage into Snoopy, who's gone for the Xbalanque dash. Last shot seemed to be a little bit off the target. Gars came crashing in after Allied. The wall was there, but here's Kiki's ultimate to keep him alive for the moment. Sun Wukong, though, over the top. Kiki, so cheeky, he's going to get blown up by the bomb. Incon finds himself a kill as the fight continues on. And Snoopy's going to fall. It's a big pickup and maybe a turnaround because here comes the Guan Yu ultimate. Remember, this ability hits the hardest for any physical ability in the entire game.
Boosh, don't come back. This is not for you, Boosh. This is not for you. You got to get out of here, buddy. He uses the beads to try to get the slow.
Dash in 2, dash in 1. Taunt it in. He has the dash, but it's not in time.
Divios by himself. I mean, there's really not much Sun Wukong can do. He doesn't have hand 3. In fact, he doesn't have hand at all. It's on cooldown. If he walks into this, he's guaranteed dead. I mean, he has to get out immediately. He has done nothing here. I mean, he needs to go farm.
Yeah.
The biggest turnaround for that fight was the Athena taunt into a... But the biggest thing in that team fight was the huge 3-man Athena taunt into a fully channeled Taolu Assault by Guan Yu, plus the mystical mail ticks from both Bellona and Guan Yu. Heavy AoE damage, and they just cleaned it up.
See, I mean, that's the terminology, right? Picks. That wasn't them picking Isis. It wasn't a pick because they didn't kill it fast enough. She baited them long enough to you have them use almost every ability. By the time Incon actually got in that fight, they were sitting ducks.
Yep. Yeah, it's the Dispel magic from Isis. The Silence steals away protections.
Yeah.
The Taolu Assault steals away protections. AFK gets tankier in the fights, on top of the Bellona ultimate and the damage reduction from the Isis. They were fighting in those overlapping circles with all the Soul and protections, just out-tanking Team SoloMid in these fights. They're winning the extended engagements without sustain.
What I really love about these two teams right now is that AFK makes a play, TSM makes a play, and it just goes to show how evenly matched these two teams are.
And it's been a long time since we've seen Snipe or any of its members play at a level that has really brought them to this point. There were plenty of, Twitter talk and Reddit threads about how people thought that the AFK winning over Cloud9 was a fluke, but I think this, even if this goes south, right, for AFK, this proves that they've more than earned their spot because they're not just going even, they're in the lead right now.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to be firing at the same pace as Fnatic was as they were trading games with TSM. But maybe most importantly, AFK could win a game here from the second pick position as the fight rages on, but they are in that Bellona ultimate. The passive going to make it very difficult for TSM to fight into it. Snoopy caught out a little bit on the left side. Allies hit the gas pedal, but he's going to be stunned out and bursted and killed right away. Snoopy for the credit of that one, continuing to stack his passive up, going to be nearly full. Divios forced into the Somersault Cloud as well, his ultimate being expended, and AFK not having to use too much, but they do lose their Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really big bait. Allied got, like, straight up Halo baited there.
100% bait.
That was rough. That was, I mean, granted, we're watching from the overhead. We can see everything, but watching that unfold, right? Oh, man.
You knew it was going to be ugly. Well, we're about 3 minutes away from the next Gold Fury, guys. 22.5 minutes into this one. It's 15-16 in favor of AFK. They're up by just a few thousand gold here. Experience relatively close as well. This one's still anyone's game, but advantage to the boys in green. It's 4K gold, 3K experience.
So they start rushing over towards the right side. This is looking like farm. They're gesturing a Fire Giant, but they're definitely not committed to it. AFK would be very smart to send Rama just right back over to the left lane.
Yeah, after that team fight, there was really nothing on the map to take. They were hoping maybe their enemy speed buff was up, wasn't there. Okay, both teams reset.
And that's kind of the hardship, right? Where you get this big team fight, and any good team comparatively to maybe like a mid-level team will be all about taking what F.Dot calls the stuff after the stuff.
Yeah, they're going to take this tier 2, or sorry, this tier 1 with the 2 warriors over here in the right side lane.
A couple missed Bellona ults there, right? He missed one on the Agni, and he also missed one there on the Sun Wukong.
Gars taunted out of his spin, keep pumping some damage into him with the Wing Gust, but it will be enough to zone out and secure those left side camps for Team SoloMid. Every little bit counts here as they are down, and once you get about 5,000 gold, you start feeling it in the items. About 10,000 becomes very difficult to surmount the how far behind you are. Fire Giant can start factoring into this game in the next 5 minutes or so as the items are starting to really come online for the Hunters, allowing them to burst down these objectives.
I'm maybe expecting, unless a huge team fight happens and a bunch of people go down, I think the next thing we're going to see is the Gold Fury.
Yeah,
Comes up in about minute 40, right? They're going to start working their way back over towards the left side. No way, maybe towards the right here.
Right side camp.
All of AFK was just in the base. It was like a field trip.
Right, what goes on here in the comms is Gold Fury is almost going to be up. Everyone's going to say, get as much farm as you can back 45 seconds before the Gold Fury comes up, and let's do another team fight.
That's the timing, 45 seconds.
Yeah, right, when the pie chart is only one slice away, 45 seconds for Gold Fury.
Gotcha.
All right, so Incon taking some damage. 2 bombs used on to Incon. Don't know how I feel about that one. Bede's going to be used there, but Weaken is sticking to him like glue. Boosh, wow. Goodbye.
That heavy hammer really factoring in there. The improved attack chain as well onto Bellona in that sword stance. In Ionic, he's going to stop out of that Xbalanque stun potential. As Snoopy's coming rotating in, Divios, he's trying to hold the front line for as long as he can, allow Snoopy some free space in this fight to put out his damage. Nothing just yet, and it's still 5 strong from AFK.
It's maybe not the most useful thing that's happened this game, but they were stacking up under the Somersault Cloud. That mystical mail still hits you up there.
Does it really?
Yeah, it's
Here
really
comes the Sylvanus ultimate. This could be where it gets turned around. Kiki, he's fighting out of his ultimate circle of protection as well. Backside, it's Gars. He's going to get the stun. They're going to try to bring down Weaken. Divios just off the mark with a cat stun there. Could have ended up to get it. It's Ionic that does go down. That opens up some opportunities for objectives for AFK. You can see them backing off, happy with what they've gotten. Looking to re-engage potentially is the Gar's couple of low HP targets on the backside there, but no, he's going to think better of that one.
Gars need to be careful, specifically because people aren't respecting the cooldown reset chain that's happening with Guan Yu. If he heals a
I would like to
teammate,
see a fire giant
2 seconds off. If
You
he
want to
dashes
see
an
the
enemy,
sneak attempt?
2 seconds off.
Yeah, I would have loved to see a fire giant there. They saw Thor back, and then in middle, they backed as well, and Sylvanus was down.
Right, yeah, fair enough. I mean, it would have been, they were pretty low. They probably would have given a couple kills back, as Gars could have rotated back in fairly quickly, but...
To the same point, though, you have to remember every time AFK has had a lead on the TSM roster, they have thrown a fire giant.
That goes to show how much they have evolved as a team. They have a lot more discipline now, and it shows.
Well,
Especially with Cyclone on the team, because he was probably, come on, guys, we can do it. I don't care.
Yeah, I just win. That's all I know how to do. 26 minutes in, 15-18 now in favor of AFKs. They pull ahead a little bit more, expanding on that 4,000 gold lead to about the tune of 4,500.
I would just like to point one thing out. It seems like both teams have the same plan, right? It's blow up the mage. Every time TSM goes in, they go for Isis. Every time AFK goes in, they go for the Agni.
But there's a big difference between the two, is that Kiki is not kind of a backbone, right? Boosh is known as the top damaging player on the team. Kiki is known as the guy that's willing to silence, spirit ball, heal the team up, run away, bait you, and then die
He plays a little bit of the support mages, right? Isis, Wuwa kind of supporting the team with her ultimate damage.
Yeah, Kevin pointing it out there. Breastplate of Valor picked up on the Agni here. Just trying to stay alive in these fights, forced to deal with the Guan Yu, but as we mentioned, it's the magical damage from the Mystical Mail that's as often the problem as the damage coming out. Snoopy, he's pushed off the mark now. This should open up the Gold Fury fairly easily for AFK, as you can see how low Xbalanque is.
Snoopy's out. But that was, what, 3 ultimates used?
Yeah, it was. So, I mean, it's going to be an interesting fight for AFK. Let's see what they try to do here as we're going to ride along with TSM for Curse Voice. Listen in. Let's see what they have to say.
They're not doing it.
Do we have TP like?
Yeah, we have enough.
Okay,
I
we
need
need
a
a
back
from.
I just need a ward.
I'm backing now. For Magi's.
I actually can beat up Cyclone now because I have Titan's Bane.
Athena's
nice.
mid.
They might be going for Divio.
Yeah, we don't have eyes on any.
I have
Athena
TP
went
on
left.
some Wukong.
Athena
They'll
went
waste.
They're
like
on
300
gold again.
seconds.
They're on gold again. Trying to burn
Looking
it.
right here.
It's at 50. They're gonna get it.
We can't.
What's Hawks done?
They gotta
They
get it.
got it?
Yeah.
They already got
Yeah,
it.
that's fine. We should look to fight.
Yeah, we need more wards. I have nothing to.
In mid, we should look to fight in mid.
Yeah. Athena
Athena does
dashed
dash right. Can we go?
We can
Right,
take
their
speed.
speed's up. It's just spawn. It's blinking.
I'm gonna like
They're-
run
they're
around
coming.
instead of going left.
Sword.
I'm going for it right now.
Careful for Isis poke.
That's Athena
Taunt.
taunt down.
That's a roll. Careful,
Hold on,
Gar,
help
careful,
over
Gar,
here.
over here. I can't get
One
one that
ult's
way.
down.
start
We
on
can
the
fight
healing.
now. One ult's down.
I'll
Ulting now.
Help Snoopy. We need help
there's a
over here.
target,
We need
there's
help
a
over
target.
here.
That's
Yeah,
not
I'm
down.
holding Snoopy. Big ult, big ult.
That's
Athena ult.
shell. Oh god. I got knockups, but
Careful, guys.
Guan ult.
Watch out, Guan ult's
I'm
active.
going to chase with 3 people. Oh, Rama back
I can
up.
ult them over here. I can ult them all. Rama's
you-
in there. Rama's in there. Rama's in there.
Xbalanque ult.
I got skilled. Still enough damage.
We don't want to fight like that. We don't have
Yeah,
Titan's
we-
Banes. We don't have Obsidian Shards. we can't fight these things.
yeah. We just keep burning their ults and they're still stronger.
That's because they have so much to stand.
You can't even do anything about fire.
Back up.
If they're gonna pick a tanky team, like maybe we should just pick all. Like I don't know. I don't think we just need a ban of Bellona.
We just need
I
a
have
ban
been-
Bellona.
yeah.
She's been the only issue. It doesn't matter. We just can't do damage. Like, she just chases. Yeah,
No, it's because you guys.
Guan was
you guys
pretty
need
strong
to
this
cha-
game,
You can't do
actually.
same builds
Like,
when you're doing.
One was good, but like, yeah.
I'm doing this build either way. Like, I'm gonna get Executioner and the crit.
Oh yeah, but Titan's Bane is like wait. You need like pen is extremely early. That's why it's working out because we're not getting pen early enough. We're
Welcome back to the commentary desk, ladies and gentlemen. As we heard there, TSM struggling to keep up with the AFK. Cyclone's been a credit of another triple. I mean, so I have to point it out here now. He won 3 games with 3 different gods, none of them really on meta picks. This is now the 4th game with a 4th different god. If Cyclone's been with 6 games with 6 different gods in this tournament, he's the best player in the world, uncontested.
I mean, he's already 4 for what is looking like 4. And let's run through the list, right? Chronos, decent pick.
Sure.
Alquang makes no sense.
No sense at all.
But somehow body.
Especially into Bellona, who does all of the things that stop Alquang.
He sat and he explained it to me, and I'm like, I'm just not with you.
Still don't
man.
get it.
Yeah.
And now, like, Guan Yu? Like,
as well as Uller. I mean, he had an Uller over there as well,
and then
right?
they banned it.
And they banned it. I mean, it's complete madness. I mean, we saw Boosh take Uller into the mid lane. We saw Twiggy take Naja into the jungle, and both of those got stomped on. Cyclone Spin seems to be the only player in the world that can just take these style picks. Well, I guess we're not giving Divios any credit for the Sun Wukong just because it seems like standard now. But that was a pretty flavorful pick.
Yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it was a pretty spicy pick in and of itself.
Right. I'd like to talk about the team fight and what exactly happened there.
Sure.
Gars landed a beautiful ult, right? However, his team is so scattered from the Guan Yu and the Bellona that no one can follow up on his dunk, and they immediately pop their shell, Ice Assault, and basically they reset the team fight as one starts now.
Oh, look at this. Eagles rally to start off. No stun, but Ionic taking a lot of damage. He's going to find a 3 knockup, but just like Zatman talked about, they are scattered. Ionic one hit going to be forced down. Wow. Rama from the sky. Oh, Allied almost getting a double there. Cyclone chasing it down. Going to choose the wiser, and he's going to Tallow Assault that one. Immortal. I
gotta tell you that Allied, just the dream there. He took a shot at Ionic, and it also hit Xbalanque. But here is Divios. You're not that
okay, so if that was
young man.
If that was 11 minutes into the game, that would have been the worst play ever made. But it's 30 minutes. They're getting their Phoenix push. He needed to make a play. I could definitely understand him going for it.
You got to try for something at least here, as AFK Gaming looks like they will find their first victory ever against this TSM squad. First game, maybe going to be going their way. They're piling into the base here. They're zoning out the enemy team. Is AFK going to do it? It looks like they will. And we have history being rewritten now.
What a game.
TSM, the armor looking penetrable for AFK.
This is maybe a wake-up call for TSM. They've got to switch something up, make sure the strategy's a little more sound. And I don't know that anyone expected that was going to be in AFK's favor. They are showing up in just with diamonds today.
What I can't believe is how well Cyclone Spin adapts. He did his whole assassin hypercarry thing against Trig, and now against TSM, he was better at Divios' own game.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was our question, right? Has he really downloaded Divios' playstyle enough to buy that Mystical Mail, go toe-to-toe with him? And the answer seems to be yes.
Yeah, that was a 33 extended minute long answer of yes, I have.
Yes, I can.
I could do it.
11, 1, and 7 at the end of that game?
Yeah.
He was immortal.
Like that?
He was immortal. Like, that's insanity.
That is insane. I mean, the last time we saw Guan Yu play like that was Omega taking him. I mean, same kind of situation, just like randomly pulling him out in the solo lane, rotating over to the Gold Fury, getting a quad in the exact same vein as Cyclone Spin. And that's what we talk about Cyclone Spin over and over and over again. Somehow he kills the solo laner without using his ultimate, and then rotates over to the Gold Fury and then kills the rest of the team with said ultimate.
That was all after he started behind Divios, because as we check into the First Blood, you're going to see Weekend on the opposite side of the map. They did a completely off the meta start to make sure that Sylvanus was shut down.
Yeah, here it is. It's the big 4-man invade, and the second they get that first heavy hammer hit out of the Bellona, it was pretty much all she wrote.
Oh, no, that wasn't even heavy hammer.
Oh, that was just the dash.
Lockdown.
Yeah.
That's how good they played.
The Rom arrows, the slow out of the Bellona.
Beautiful.
A lot of slows on that side.
Yeah, slows are really underrated.
Well, they're underrated, but they're easily countered as well, that Wing Blade. But we'll see if TSM can easily counter what AFK has put up in this last game as we go into game number 2. But before that, let's toss it over to Hindu with the one and only Lasses to break this one down for us. Guys, take it away.
Welcome to the analyst desk, and I'm joined once again by Lasses. I feel like a hobbit up against you. Like,
good movie.
It's a good movie, but I just feel really, really, really small. First game of the day, AFK versus TSM in the final. AFK come out on top. Surprised?
You know, not really. I heard they've been scrimming these great guys. You know, they're always eager for these scrims, and you know, I'm proud of these guys, man. They did it really well.
Well, in that game as well, we were sat down watching this game as it unfolded as well, and as it did so, we were talking about Cyclone Spin wasn't on his usual carry role. He played Guan Yu in the warrior, in the solo lane, and we were like, oh, I don't know about this because he's not on a carry. But then it worked out really well for them.
Yeah, it actually caught me by surprise because that was my first comment. I was like, man, he's just not on his hyper carry. I hope they can pull this out. And I'm like, man, maybe Allied can. But you know, Cyclone coming out with the plays, man. You know, also giving credit to the Athena ultis, the taunts, the Tallow Assaults, everything just awesome, man.
And looking at the map here, you can see the objective control between the two teams. Team SoloMid did not get a single Gold Fury during this game. All 3 Gold Furies went the side of AFK. And we were watching one of those Gold Fury fights where we watched Incom play it very, very well around that big engagement around it where he came in, engaged to make sure they pulled away from the Gold Fury and then re-engaged again going forward.
Yeah, we were actually just talking about this. I'm like, he's going to go in for the taunt, he's going to get Sylvanus ultied, and then he's going to back out hopefully and come back in with the ulti, and already creating like a 6v5 situation.
Did it exactly as we expected. So going into game 2 now and thinking about game 2 going forward, do AFK just need to do the same sort of thing again, same sort of situation? Or will it be a little bit different, you expect?
See, that's the thing about AFK. You can't predict what they're going to do, man. They're so spontaneous, and that's what makes them so dangerous.
But TSM and the likes as well, they've been in this situation before. They've been down games before as well. Are they really going to struggle this one? Do you reckon they'll take first pick this time?
You know, I do think they'll take first pick. First pick, in my opinion, is the strongest. And, you know, the Sylvanus pickup actually kind of scared me when Team SoloMid got it. You know, Ionic's just an animal. And,
yeah.
But, you know, I just don't know what's going to happen, honestly.
Well, we'll see as we go into this next game going on, but the MVP of that game is going to go to, obviously, Cyclone Spin. We see him on the screen there at the moment with that little shadow.
He's so cute.
His cheeky little, yay, I got MVP. He's not realised this yet. He's not really noticed now. And he's like, okay, back to focus again. Maybe they're on him. We can have a little look at some of his plays here. He got 2 triple kills during this game, Lasses.
Oh, man, just absolute monster. You know, Cyclone just rising to the top so quickly, and just... If you can't take him out, man, you always got to worry about him.
But this Guan Yu as well, like, it's not something we see too often, but the combination with Athena and those taunts is just so strong for being able to put the damage out and the shred through the whole team.
Yeah, actually, it was actually you and Sky who said, man, these taunts and these Tale Assaults are just absolutely decimating this team. And as you saw, man, just stripping all those protections and making this team just absolutely dominate.
I mean, the thing about Cyclone Spin as well, during this tournament, he's got MVP every single game he's played in. I mean, what is it about Cyclone Spin that makes him so strong?
You know, there was actually one example I'd like to use. As soon as Divios went into his Ox form and dove away, you saw him ulti immediately as Guan Yu.
He realized he could chase him down.
Yeah, realizing chase, being smart and just knowing what could happen and coming out with the kill there with him in a weekend. Just impressive how he knows the game so well.
Well, you can see the boys at TSM there sorting themselves out, ready for game 2 now to see how they can get on in this one. Prediction from you, Lasses, quickly?
For
this next game.
Just the next game? Oh, man, I hate to say it, but Team SoloMid, I think, will start to realize and probably take this game away.
Well, let's find out if they can actually do that. Heading over to the caster desk again to join Bart and the others to see how it's going to go on.